All right, so now we're going to take a look at what I consider to be one of the more balanced formations in the run and gun playbook, and that's going to be the gun doubles. And the reason I consider it balanced is because we have a little mixture of everything. I do like the RPO against the meta because a lot of times it's nickel and the tight end doesn't get followed on the RPO unless they pass commit or unless they bring a safety down and the safety's manned up on him. So, like if you're running up against like a nickel normal, just stock standard by its run, then you can kind of snap throw the RPO to the tight end. Or if they're like in the nickel 3-3, same deal. But I also really like the fact that we have a read option. We've got PA read, which I like certain crossing plays in this game will get mandatory inside releases on certain routes, so that's a good thing against man coverage. You have the Y sail with your tight end corner route. You've got corner strike, which is it's not as consistent as it used to be, but it's still worth having in your arsenal. Y shallow cross is good against match quarters match. I think it also does well against palms too, but we'll go over that later. And then of course I like angle smash. And then you have like the inside zone read option and the PA zone read. So there's just a lot of different. Oh, and the fake jet pass power, Loki, pretty good. There's just a lot of different ways to attack defense from this formation, whether it be in the ground or on the ground, in the air, attacking different levels of the field. So I think that's probably why it's the most balanced formation in the playbook. In this video, I want to take a look at the play angle smash, and we're going to talk about a few different ways to run it against man coverage. I'm going to come out in just so I don't have to press every single time, and so I don't get screamed at from Overstorm Brave, and I don't have to set up the blitz every time, or take people away with the spy. I'm just going to come out in one hole press. So you see the play art. This corner route is actually very good. Isaiah McKenzie is not the best route runner, but if you have a good route runner and you have the short and elite on him, he'll get some really good separation. But the way we set this play up is really to just read the shading of our opponent. No shade, you're going to get the corner route open. Let me just show you kind of the route concept that I like to set up. I like to streak this outside guy. I like my fastest guy out here because if there's no safety help over the top, and sometimes he'll get that like chuck animation where he'll throw him away and he'll get separation right off the jump. Or if they shade underneath, a lot of times he'll get that animation. But I also like to curl route the tight end, and I didn't mean to motion. I did not mean to motion, so let's go ahead and reset the play. Streak. I will curl route the tight end, and actually like to motion the tight end out. Now, why would we motion the tight end out? Well, I think having the curl route is better than having that little baby out route unless you have a really good route running tight end. Like Casper will probably do solid on the out route. But I move him out because I think it creates a little bit better spacing with the halfback angle route, which is very good against man, obviously. And then the curl route won't get pressed even if they shade underneath. So you can throw the curl route as long as they don't shade underneath. You'll be able to read it right away. Speaking of reading, the defense, we set the play up this particular way because we want to read the defense from left to right, and what I mean by that is we want to read the shade, right? On the left side, if they underneath shade, then we'll get the corner route or the X route open. On the right side, if they over the top shade, one more hot route. I kind of like double curls. It's a little weird, but if they shade over the top, you'll see no press on the left side. So I read the field left to right. If I see a press, that means they're probably either shading underneath or just playing stock. If I see no press, I know that they're shading over the top. So if they're shading over the top, I flip my eyes to the right side of the field and look for one of the two curl routes, and then lastly the tight end angle route. What I see a lot of people do is drop purples. So if they drop a purple, let's just say, for instance, they do something like this. And and then they manually guard a halfback. Well, the purple can't cover both corner routes, or excuse me, curl routes. So it's going to go to one or the other. And that was a horrendous throw. But you'll see a lot of times it'll bail out to the wide guy, and you can throw it to the inside tight end curl route. So really this is just about, against man coverage, reading what shading it is. And I'll go over it again really quick. So if they shade over the top, you'll see no press. If they shade over the top, I'm looking to my right side immediately at my 2 curl routes. We're going to go ahead and simulate what that looks like. We're going to go ahead and shade over the top. There's no press. And in one of my other videos, I show you the technique for throwing the curl routes. It's not anything super like skillful, but it will beat the over the top shade. If I see an underneath shade, which will be, you know, you'll look over here on the left side. Okay, he chalked him, he threw him off right away. They even switched players who they were guarding. Right, so you'll see it on your streak. You'll see a quick win on your streak if you have a pretty good receiver out there when they shade underneath. Notice if they shade underneath and we look at our curl routes, these guys will be in trail coverage. Okay, cannot throw the curl route. Don't even try. If you see that tight end's man playing trail coverage, don't throw the curl route. But then you can also kind of get into this cat and mouse game of, okay, am I actually going to put him on a curl route or am I going to put him on a streak? So I do like, you know, kind of switching those things up every now and then. And you can even set your play up like that all the time. Might be nice in case they were in like a cover 3. Just I kind of freestyle my offense. But say this happened to be a pressed cover 3, then you would have that seam route too. That's a nice little look. But you see if they shade underneath, it's Dawson Knox. He's not even the best tight end. It's going to create some issues for them in their coverage. And then, of course, last but not least, this halfback angle route will win against man coverage, especially if the user is used to us throwing a table route, which we do have a good table route in this formation with the play Y sail. And a lot of times they'll cheat really hard to the flat. Especially if they're in like a meta defense where there's a bunch of blitzing guys. They'll typically be on this guy and they'll sprint out to the flat, and then all of a sudden he cuts up the middle, and it's like now they're in trouble. So that's why I really like this corners play or halfback angle. I think it's called halfback angle against man coverage. Like, there's a lot of juice to it. There's a lot of different ways to run it. You just got to kind of understand how the mechanics of the game work and how to set the play up. Next, we're going to go take a look at Y sail, which is another great complementary play to the angle smash.